Hey everybody, welcome into Across America Good News Edition. This one for the week leading up to December 19th, 2025. And my name is Chip Rooster. I'm a national digital host with Nexstar Media. Every week is filled with news. It's a big reason that Nexstar exists, why your local television news station exists. What I get to do, though, is set those major, let's call them hard news headlines aside, and instead focus in on the good, on the feature stories that our local journalists are doing every week, really getting into their community, and then bring those all together. Not all of them, but God, I wish I had the time for all of them, but 6 to 10 into this show, and let everybody else out there see some of that good news that is happening. As this is the week leading up to December 19th, we have quite a few seasonal stories. Not quite a few. We have a few seasonal stories, including a giant Santa versus an HOA, a group trying to bring a different culture to Santa, to their community. We meet the nation's official Christmas tree, and then set the seasonal aside, a woman whose photography hobby turned collectible art, a local chess team qualifying for a championship in France, and then the effort to collect stories of veterans. So yes, we have this seasonal, but we also have some of those just more unique local stories for you here as well. Before we get to those though, we are going to start with the most dramatic video that I saw this week. It came from a body camera, actually a couple of body cameras of first responders. And I will say at the start of this, everyone turned out okay, but it truly was a life or death situation. And this just shows us what some of those first responders do for our communities. This is coming from our station in Chicago, WGN.
Go, 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 go.
It was early Sunday morning when a call came in.
Get the thing out of the back. There should be a disc with a rope on it.
About a car in Glendale Heights that crashed into a pond at Burdett and Roberta Avenues.
We start running towards the lake, and that's when we see 3 subjects drowning in the center of the lake where the car had crashed to the bottom of it.
Dennis Tachura and Marco Lumibao wasting no time springing into action. Marco even jumping right into the water.
Well, I had my feet in it, but Marco literally jumped into it, and it was very, very cold.
In bitterly cold temperatures and surrounded by ice, they searched for survivors.
Who else is in the vehicle? How many in the vehicle?
3.
Is that it?
Just 3.
Just you 3? All right, get her going.
Working in tandem to pull 3 people, 2 men and 1 woman, to safety.
When we pulled them out, they were just frozen. Again, they were just thankful to be out, it looked like. They were all shivering, ourselves included. After the incident is when it kind of kicked in and we can start feeling our bodies, and we were all taken to the ambulances to get warm.
The pair now back at work, knowing things could have turned out very differently that night.
We're both just very thankful. Got a good team, got a good partner.
With these humble heroes telling us they'd do it all over again in a heartbeat.
That's why we signed up for this. That's everyone here at this department would have done the same.
Amazing to see. Just amazing to get that on camera. Again, the good news here, all 3 people saved, they are fine, and seeing that act of heroism caught on camera. Thank you to those first responders and everyone else that is out there serving your local community. We're going to continue with the theme of serving our local community with this next story. It's coming to us from our station in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, WHTM, and it's about a retired chef that found a different way to practice his craft.
My name is Chef Tom.
Making quite a meal.
Quality meats. I use all the best ingredients, seasoned perfectly, cooked right. If it's overcooked, it goes in the trash. I take a lot of pride in what I do, whether it's for free or whether it's for $100 a meal.
And that's important because this meal,
And then pick it up.
is free. Chef Tom doesn't use his last name, but he doesn't have to. Everybody here knows him.
There's people that will come running out of their tents to see Chef.
Yes, they're tents. Harrisburg's tent city.
Every Wednesday I come down and feed these guys.
And he does mean every Wednesday.
It snowed 2 weeks ago, and they called me, "Are we serving in the snow?" I said, "Well, they're hungry in the snow." And they were, as they were sipping the soup, and you could see the warmth go through them, the people down here, and it just was very rewarding.
People used to pay Tom for his food.
I was in the restaurant field as a caterer and a restaurant diner owner.
Then he retired.
And, I was getting on my wife's nerve, to be honest with you. She said, "Get a job or do something." So I decided I was just going to help the community.
And here we are. He doesn't do it alone. Lots of volunteers.
I'm 13. I'm 15.
Grace Peck and Bethany Karamtad.
We believe that God has sent us here.
From the Samuel School in New Cumberland.
I hope they know and realize how much they're loved.
I lost my wife from cancer, and it made me lose everything, including myself, to the point where I became homeless.
Folks like Jesse Gaynor not only getting fed.
We have a lady that is a beautician.
I'm here because everybody deserves to look good.
So, free haircuts.
It makes them feel like brand new.
Chef Tom is a great man who first off, knows how to cook. Whether there's 2 feet of snow or not, he's making us breakfast for dinner. He really is a blessing. Himself, not just the food.
In Harrisburg, Seth Kaplan.
Give them an option of mushrooms.
ABC 27 News.
And I think Jesse said it best at the end there. Chef Tom is a blessing himself, not just the food that he's bringing to that party. Okay, we got one more of serving the community. This one from our Columbus, Ohio station, WCMH. And in fact, it's one that you could help with. It's about serving or rescuing, capturing those veteran stories before the veterans themselves depart this world. And you can help this organization do that. Check this out.
If you have a veteran in your family, the National Veterans Memorial and Museum has an assignment for you as you get together over the holidays. And all you need is your phone.
We want people to be able to have that story shared for posterity, and so it's not lost to history.
Colonel Bill Butler with the National Veterans Memorial and Museum wants people to help them capture veteran stories before generations of heroes are no longer here to tell us themselves. Something he says he wishes he had to know more about his family's service.
We don't want other families to have that same regret.
In collaboration with StoryCorps, the museum is collecting recordings of conversations with veterans talking about their service. Then it will be preserved by the Library of Congress in a searchable digital archive and listened to by generations to come.
I think if we don't gather them, then they're lost, and we don't understand that perspective. I then have 2 kids who are 5 and 3 and know about my grandfather, but they can't hear him tell his story in his words. And it would have been so simple.
It's as simple as using your phone or computer to record the conversation from anywhere at any time. Then upload it through the museum's story collection website. They even have a list of suggested questions to start the conversation. Air Force veteran Ben Dawson was interviewed by his granddaughter for the collection.
I think it's wonderful that they want to know about it and want to listen to it. And it just makes a family so much closer.
If you're having trouble recording a story, you can set up a time to come to the museum, and the staff will help you here. Local for you, I'm LEXI LEPOF, NBC4.
I love it when you get a local story like that really is actually nationally applicable, something that you, wherever you are watching this, can participate in. Coming up, we're going to take a quick break, but we're going to start touching on some of those seasonal stories, including a different take on Santa that is hitting very close to home to those who go to see him. We'll be right back. And welcome back. This first story out of the break from our station in Greensboro, North Carolina, WGHP, is about an organization called Santa's Just Like Me. And I think you'll understand exactly what they mean. It's actually one of the longer stories I've ever run on this, but I was just like, this is so cool. We're going to do the whole thing. So you get that whole story right here on Across America Good News Edition.
Let's see if I'm close enough on my settings.
It's a sold-out event.
You're looking good, man. Nice, rich-looking image.
An overflow of families patiently waiting their turn.
Do I have Alexis Robinson?
To see the man of the hour. The gloves, the boots, the beard, and of course, the voice.
Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas.
All very familiar characteristics we've been conditioned to associate with the jolly guy in red, with the exception of one detail.
They don't treat me as a stranger. They treat me as somebody who they have seen in books and in novels and everything. But the color of my skin is just a little different.
This is William Grogan.
You ready? Say cheese.
Better known as Santa Bill.
To see the kids, when they see me, how their eyes light up, how they come and approach me and hug me, and just tell them all about themselves.
One after another told me it's an experience they've been searching for, including mom Brittany James.
So I Googled it, and I was able to find one that was nearby.
The Robinsons.
It's become a tradition to all of us.
The Henrys.
It's really important because it's good to see someone that looks like you.
And the Dawkins.
So that he knows what's possible, and his imagination can just soar.
The man behind the camera, Stafford Braxton.
Hey, Jane. Hey, buddy.
Got wind of this demand years ago.
I was working at a mall in Raleigh, and I think it was probably maybe the second year that I was working there where people would come up and ask me if we were going to have a black Santa. And I would tell them, you know, they ain't gonna let y'all have no black Santa up in here. Little did I know I was being prophetic.
The wedding photographer by trade realized if there were going to be a change, he'd have to be the one to bring it.
We get calls from across the country all the time.
He launched Santas Just Like Me in 2013, recruiting and training men to serve as Santas of color and giving families of various backgrounds the representation they've been yearning to see captured.
1, 2, boom.
In their Christmas memories.
What kind of experience are you hoping to give the children and their families?
Something that they will remember always, especially the young ones when they come and visit Santa for the first time.
Despite the busy schedule Stafford Santas keep, they've managed to make an annual stop here in Greensboro in an unlikely setting. Not a mall, but of all places, John Wagner's insurance office on Alamance Church Road.
It really is interesting sometimes to see people's reactions.
While it certainly doesn't hurt to have your name on the building on a night like this, for him, welcoming Santas Just Like Me wasn't a business move. It started with a family matter.
Keep smiling. Keep smiling.
This is John's family. His wife, Ashley, and their daughters, Elizabeth and Louina.
Both of my girls are from South Africa, and we've always been really diligent to make sure that she has that representation as well, because we don't look like her.
Did Daddy make that noise?
Give me a big cheese. Liz, big cheese. Come on.
Seeing the joy and meaning it's brought to his family.
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
John knew others would appreciate it too.
It really has grown into a community event.
He says since that first year in 2022, the participation has doubled.
If not tripled, yeah.
'Tis the season of cheer. Yet there are those who make it clear they'd prefer this kind of business weren't here.
I've been called the N-word more doing this than I did growing up south in Virginia.
What are some of the worst things you've heard?
That I'm not the real Santa. You know, Santa's all white. You know, we've experienced that when we was in Gastonia for a little while. You know, some people take their kids out of line.
We'd have parents that walk by and says, the kids want to go see Santa, but they'll say, well, that's not our Santa. You know, so you encounter all that. But then at the same time, I had old white men in bib overalls come and take black Santa pictures with their families. You know, I have Hispanic families. I have Asian families, you know, so as well as white families that come. So we're inclusive. We're not excluding anyone.
Stafford, who is also a Christian minister, knows it doesn't come from the kids.
The kids don't really care. You know, they see the red suit, the white beard, and they're ready to go tell whoever it is what they want for Christmas.
And maybe that's the true lesson for all of us. Never forgetting how to see the season through the eyes of a child.
What I tell people is there's only one race. There's only the human race. But we have many different cultures that we have to take into consideration. And I wish we would stop calling it different races, because it's not. You know, the Bible says we were born from one blood. That's it. So we're all family.
Seeing the season through the eyes of a child, that's the line to take away from that story. I also want to just point out that Nexstar Media does a Black History Month effort every year, January and in February. And so that story might end up returning. depending on how we end up putting that special together. So just, I know it was on the longer side for this program, but really well done, really cool, and unique and local. So now you've learned about it, just like I have, thanks to this program. I've got another seasonal one for you here. This is coming from Denver, Colorado, our station KDVR. Very different kind of story. Santa is still the main character of this one, but it's more about the size than the skin color. You'll see what I mean. Watch this.
Yeah, take a look. This is the inflatable Santa that has gotten so much attention. It is 28 feet tall, just about as tall as this house. Here in the town of Severance, drivers can see the giant inflatable Santa from Harmony Road. Dora Flores and her family put up the Santa this month, but were sent this letter from Fromm and Company saying the Santa Claus located in your backyard is excessive in height and not permitted. Please remove immediately. The letter did not state specific height restrictions, but was accompanied by a list of possible fines. The family took the Santa down for a while, but then the community got involved. We stand with Santa! They created a social media campaign and reached out to community officials trying to save Santa. Then Flores received the news.
This morning, I did receive a call from the upper management of our HOA apologizing and letting us know that we can keep Santa and that it was a mistake on their behalf.
These neighbors gathered to celebrate today. Santa has gained a few friends in the neighborhood, although not quite as big. So with this recent news, the family says they will keep Santa up until a few days after Christmas, so you will be able to see him if you are driving by. Kim Posey, Fox 31.
I don't want to, don't take this as bias. This is really observational. There are some people that are like, haha, we beat the HOA. And I feel like that story is for you. You know, it's fighting the fines in the HOA letters. I feel like so many people have gotten HOA letters. Okay. Take that however you will take it. We're going to take one more break. And then on the other side of this, if you haven't met this tree before, it is celebrating its 100th year as the nation's official Christmas tree. And then a couple of cool stories, one about a photography hobby turned into art, truly captured collectible art, as well as some kids doing some amazing stuff in the world of chess. We'll have those stories for you when we come back. And we're back, trying to keep those breaks nice and short so we can get all of the stories in as much as possible. I said it right before the break. Hopefully you know the exact story that's coming. But this one is about, and I admittedly didn't know we had an official nation's Christmas tree, different than the national tree at the White House. This one is a tree that continues to stand. It's not cut down and relocated. And our station in Fresno, California, KSEE, is the one to bring us this story.
One way or another, through snowstorms and dry weather, through wars and depressions and all the rest, people have come back here over and over again because somehow this strikes some chord within us.
For 100 years, crowds have been making the pilgrimage to the Kings Canyon National Forest before Christmas Day to admire this nearly 270-foot-tall redwood tree. But it's not just any tree, it's the nation's Christmas tree.
How many of you out there today are multi-generational visitors? I bet there's a lot of hands.
A sweet tradition, one that brings holiday cheer.
The lights are turned way down low. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
But also honors the men and women who have fought and died for our country. The sound of taps echoes through the forest as park rangers, who are also veterans, lay a wreath at the base of the General Grant tree.
It is a true honor. It's really an honor. I know some of the vets that are here are from Vietnam, so it's a lot of different generations. We're honoring all of those generations that served before us.
As the story goes, in 1925, the chamber president made a visit to General Grant when a little girl ran up to the tree and said it would make a nice Christmas tree.
Put the idea in his head.
And the Sanger Chamber of Commerce is still keeping that tradition alive. Year after year, the tree is marked as the nation's Christmas tree.
Not to be confused with the national Christmas tree that sits in front of the White House and is replaced every year.
Right now, you can take a trip to Kings Canyon to snap a photo with the tree and its temporary decor.
All the way home I'll be warm.
Reporting Hannah Gonzalez, CBS 47 Eyewitness News.
I'll tell you, I learn something every single week, every single time I do this show. And so I hope I've got some longer term viewers that are right along with me now. It's, what are we on? 17, episode 17, 18, I think at this point. So neat stuff for me as the host of this show as well. Next story, I teased it before the break. In addition to that one, this one from our station WDKY in Lexington, Kentucky. And it's about a woman who never thought of herself as a photographer. She would do pictures for friends and family and just get out there to capture some beauty, what she thought was beautiful. And then in a way, she was discovered. You'll see how and in what way you can get her art right now.
One way or another through snowstorm.
That's not the right story. Here it is.
Juanita Phillips likes to take pictures.
I wouldn't call myself a professional. I mean, I do pictures for other people, family, and stuff, but I'm basically just an enthusiast.
And on a March morning in 2018, she captured the white stuff falling from the sky.
If I see a pretty snow, then I'm bundling up and I'm out there getting pictures. Probably took 300 pictures that morning. Sun came out and it was stuck on everything. It was just gorgeous everywhere.
Photography has always been a passion for Phillips, but she only ever used her camera for fun. After a little encouragement from a friend, she submitted her snapshot to Country Magazine.
I never heard anything from the magazine. I never heard if it was published in the magazine at all.
It was instead published in another magazine called Birds and Blooms, but that didn't discourage Phillips, and her camera kept clicking away. 4 years flashed by, and then Phillips gets an email from Photo Assist.
And I thought, well, who are these people? Photo got my attention. And I read it, and they were asking me if I would be willing to license that photo for use as a United States postage stamp. And I thought, well, is this a scam? Or, what is it?
It most definitely wasn't a scam. Her snowy photo was one of 5 picked as part of the United States Post Office's Winter Landscape Series Stamps Forever. It's now sealed to letters mailing across the country.
I mean, at 69 now, I never dreamed of anything like this, happening. And I didn't take the picture for any other purpose other than my pleasure, of taking pretty snow pictures.
The Citizen Stamp Advisory Committee receives thousands of stamp image suggestions every year. No more than 30 new stamps are created.
People have told me that they've bought them, at their local post office, in Georgia and Tennessee and Indiana, family everywhere. They're letting me know when they buy them.
In Mercer County, VASI PROKOS, Fox 56 News.
And now, that local story, if you see that stamp at your post office and go, my goodness, what an amazing landscape, you know exactly where it came from. And in fact, in a way, you've met the woman that took that picture. How cool is that? I'm going to look for it next time I go to a post office. Truly. Okay, let me push the button. Boom. Next story is now queued up. We won't have the same mistake as the last one. And in fact, this is the last story of this show. It's coming from our station KSWB in San Diego, California. And it's about a group of kids who have qualified for a chess championship in France. That's awesome, right? Worth a time, worth a slot, if you will, on this show.
Promising young chess players are locked in friendly battles, sharpening their openings and endgames before taking their talents to France in June and representing their school and the U.S.
I'm really excited to play there.
Aria Romani is one of 6 students on Le Lycée Français de San Diego's elementary chess team. Their recent Boston Championship win makes them just the 2nd group in the team's history to qualify for France.
I was myself playing in elementary school, and I never had the chance to qualify for a French championship. So it's a real honor and I'm really grateful to what they did.
International Grandmaster Sami Choquer is coaching the rising stars. They practice twice a week at school, online, and at home, taking on any opponent.
My parents don't really play chess. I mean, they do, but they're not very good.
For Blake Dye, his love and dedication for the game started early.
In kindergarten, I found out that there was a chess club at the school for after school, so I decided I might want to try it.
Choquer says it's more than just fun. The game is a lifelong learning tool.
For mathematics, for analyzing, for calculating, for reasoning, for also vocabulary. When you play chess, it's a new vocabulary for history, knowing about the birth of this game.
And for these students, it'll be their first time playing in France against around 15 other teams, and their dedication and confidence is shining.
I'm looking forward to winning.
But regardless of the outcome,
I always learn new things even if I lose. I don't really lose. I either win or I learn.
Now, if the team wins in France, the coach tells me that they could qualify for a world championship, which would be another big accomplishment. Reporting in Sierra Mesa, I'm Jennifer Franco. I'll send it back to you.
Kids are my favorite. My two quotes that I'm pulling from that story that I'm keeping with me. The first, the boy that was like, yeah, my parents played, but they're not very good. Appreciate brutal honesty. And then the second, that young woman, girl, who said, I either win or I learn something. Like, what a great attitude to have about life, let alone sports and competition. Well, that's going to do it for another episode. I know, you know what? I didn't say it at the beginning, but I'm realizing it now that I should probably acknowledge the fact that I didn't have an animal story in this one. So I've broken my streak from the episode 1 to this episode, but I'm okay with that because we got some really cool stories in this time, and I'm sure you guys are okay with it too. Hey, until the next episode of Across America Good News Edition, I'm Chip Brewster. Take care, everybody.